Well, since I have been so rudely interrupted tonight due to technical difficulties, I am test streaming to see if this was even going to work better. And if it does work better, I'm going to go down the detail of fish illness, diagnosis, treatment, prognosis, and prevention. And I do have some pre-recorded video that I will edit later and get together, and I will edit them and upload them also. Let me see if I can remember what the source was. Petcha, yeah. At petcha.com/Camalanus-worms. I may even share that here in the window capture. Here it shows you the life cycle. Is my mouse not showing? Yeah. I'm probably, yeah, it's moving too fast. Okay. Here's the life stages of the worm. First of all, the first stage is larva. The female sheds larva. A sexually mature adult worm sheds larva. The first stage, the larva, a crustacean eats the larva. Then the second stage and third stage larva is infected crustacean is eaten by the fish. Okay? And then the fourth stage, parasites feed on the blood and mature. And then again, the sexually mature female sheds larva. And again, that larva comes onto the external body of the fish. The Camalanus worms are among the most commonly encountered internal parasites for aquarium fish by Neil Monks, Nealemonks. Camallanus worms are among the most commonly encountered internal parasite for aquarium fish and may infect a wide range of fish species, from guppies to goldfish. How to identify? Light infections of the worm are difficult to detect. Serious infections, however, can be indicated by the presence of red thread-like worms emerging from the anus of the aquarium fish. The mature Camallanus worm are a couple of millimeters long. Although many aquarists strongly associate the disease with guppies, mollies, loaches, dwarf cichlid fish, angelfish, and discus, most types of aquarium fish can be affected. Other symptoms of the Camallanus worm includes abdominal bloating or wasting away and a disinterest in food, or they stop eating. Well-maintained fish may be infected without exhibiting any symptoms at all. The worms fairly commonly found among wild fish without any obvious link between infection and mortality. But negative environmental pressures such as overcrowding, poor diet, poor water quality will reduce the immune response of infected aquarium fish, making it easier for the worms to multiply and cause damage to their host fish. Anybody wants to know the pathology, here it is. You can read it later. I already went over the life cycle of the worm. Here, within a week, they've molted twice to form inactive third stage larvae that sit inside the host. And then, should the crustacean be eaten by a fish, the third stage larva becomes active and starts feeding again. I don't feed my fish anything live. It has been known that freeze-dried redworms may carry the parasite. And I may have fed some freeze-dried redworms to that tank, the 55-gallon. Possibly, I thought it was like 2 weeks ago, but it could have been 3 weeks ago. And they're most common in tank water that averages around 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And so most aquariums are between 72 and 82 degrees. So that's perfect living temperature for this worm. And therefore, the life cycle takes less than a month at that temperature. I read also in this article that certain foods like the freeze-dried redworm, cyclops, and there's some other food that may carry the parasite or have been known to carry the parasite. They said that Daphnia normally does not, unless it's raised in tanks where there's fish or mixed with, and brine shrimp normally doesn't carry the parasite due to them being birthed in a high salinity solution. Treatment is anti-parasitic meds such as levomycin. I knew there was some other medicines. I had it last night. Let me find it. Mebendazole. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Thanks for hanging in there during the pause. I'm searching, and as you see, I'm searching. It starts with an F. Anyway, I'm not going to find it right now. Pathology, treatment, medications. I think that's how I searched for it. Yep, here we go. Albendazole, which is effective against threadworms, roundworms, whipworms, tapeworms, and hookworms. Mebendazole is effective against pinworms, roundworms, and hookworms. Thiobendazole is effective against roundworms and hookworms, and fenbendazole is effective against gastrointestinal parasites. That's what I wanted. Okay. After treatment, the medication, however, is toxic to snails and shrimp, so you have to remove them before you use the medication. It says Camallanus cotti, C-O-T-T-I, in particular can infect other fish directly, and it's best to treat all of the livestock simultaneously rather than remove one and treat that one, because then the parasite could be in the other fish. Prevention, quarantining new livestock and treating with an helminthic medication is recommended. Since this worm infects crustaceans such as fish food, should generally be avoided, or at least sourced only from ponds known to contain no fish. And I already mentioned this. While Daphnia doesn't appear to carry these worms, if collected from ponds containing fish, any cyclops captured with the Daphnia are quite likely to bring the parasite with them. So, that was the article that I read last night, and I also filmed myself. So I will be posting those videos soon. As far as prevention, we know to prevent is to quarantine. Of course, no one's been introduced into this 55-gallon but the original fish. Like I said, the plastic plants may have had dried up worms on it, and I didn't know it. They could have already had the worm in them, but like fish in the wild, it doesn't cause death unless the immune system is weakened from stress, and we know that traveling and carrying and transporting fish from one water source to another water source stresses them out. Their immune system drops and weakens, and that could have caused it. So I'm just going to treat and do the best I can and go on from there. So that's it for right now. I appreciate you guys hanging in there, and I'm going to see if this video is worthy to save and post. Love y'all.